Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is Life Lessons card of the Journey. And while thinking about this card all day long today, here you just stepped through the World Tree. You ended 40 days of a new journey that you were on. Now it's ended. And how fittingly this card comes along, where it's talking about endings and beginnings, life and death, new birth versus, old birth, okay? And as you step into the World Tree, you grab that handle, you opened up the door, and the first thing you see besides the radiant light and the blessings that the universe has for you is this raven. And you can hear it, caw, caw, caw. Ah. And it's talking to you. And in a moment, what you see through the raven's eyes is life and death. The birth of a seed growing into a plant. Come fall time, it withers away. The birth of a nut in the ground to make a tree where it lasts for hundreds of years. And then finally, because it dies and you see it fall over. We have fish flies in our area. The birth of a fish fly flying around. And then in 3 weeks, it's gone. Birth and death. Look at the human life, right? There's birth, a lot of life, a lot of energy gets put into that. And then by the time that child has grown into his teens, into his 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, his parents have moved on. And then he or she, you, start to realize, I'm going to be gone. You look at all the predators that are out there, trying to catch their food so they can live. Because if they don't, they'll die. Salmon swimming upstream, trying to lay their eggs. Bears sitting there trying to, grab them. Of course, these are all natural events, but there's unnatural ones too, right? The birth of conflict, and it ends with peace. The death of conflict. Seen that in the 1940s with Pearl Harbor. The ending and the beginning of the war is sitting right there. The Arizona and the Missouri. All those conflicts continue going on years after years after years. The birth of new science. The ending of an old science. The birth of technology, the ending of old technology. When I was growing up, there was black and white TVs. Now you got HD5, color, plasma, whatever. Rotary telephones. So now you have a phone in your back pocket. No computers to having a computer in your back pocket. It's all about transformation. And you step out of the world, right? And you look at the universe. We're just a small piece of that. New universes are being made. New planets are being made. Old planets are dying. Old suns are dying. Somewhere out there in the universe. Transformation. The best transformation of all is watching that cocoon open from the larva into a beautiful butterfly, right? Transformed. And then it flies off. Sometimes it makes it to its destination, other time it ends up on a windshield. Life and death. Transformation. Transformation in how you look at yourself. 40 days ago, we walked out of the world tree. Yesterday, we walked back into the world tree. A lot of transformation that happened in those 40 days. You may not realize it now, but transformation happens along every step. Maybe you're smarter. Maybe you're wiser. Okay. The key here with this card today, in order to grow, you have to let go. You have to change that mindset. You know, think about it as you're growing up. And if you have grandparents that are still alive, congratulations. That's awesome. Parents still alive, that's even better. But as you continue to age, right, you start looking back and reflecting of when your grandmother or grandfather held you as a baby. You see the pictures. You may not remember that. Okay, you may remember the good times running around in the yards, right? Going to their dinners on a Sunday night. And it's transformed you. They watched that transformation of you from a small baby to where you're at now. And if they've passed and they've moved on, if your parents have passed and moved on, they're watching from above. They see the transformation of you from a young adult to an adult, to a senior adult. They're preparing things for you in the afterworld. Just as their parents did, just as their parents did, just as their parents did. The transformation of life and death. The transformation of an idea to multi-business capacity. You know, computers. Looking at the evolution, the transformation of things in your life. Look at your relationships. Relationships with your loved ones. Look at the transformation in those. Start all exciting, getting everybody together, right? And then it kind of levels off. And you keep that excitement going between the two of you. Kids get in the, you know, I don't want to say they get in the way, but you know, they're part of your everyday growth. And then the kids move on. A new opportunity to evolve, to transform that relationship. To walk hand in hand down the street. To moving on when the other passes away. To moving on when somebody leaves. To letting go of what's out there. Same thing as a job. Look at your skill set that you've had from when you were young to where you're at now. You've learned so much. You've gone to school to learn different things. You may not even be in the field that you want to be in, but you've transformed. You've adapted. Okay. You've gotten to a point in life where you continue to learn, you continue to grow, and that's what helps your spiritual path. Transforming yourself into whom you want to be. Transforming yourself to that higher elevation of being, to your higher self, learning new things. Taking things in. And then you go back right to the beginning. The crow, caw, 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 brings you back. You've seen the evolution of everything. You understand a fragment of what's happening. But Spirit keeps bringing you in. Spirit keeps showing you something different. Understanding that cycle of transformation. In order to move forward, you have to let go of the past. You can still remember it, but don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to those old relationships, those old mindsets, those old beliefs. Don't hold on to, the old concepts of work constructs. Don't hold on to those old rules, okay? Always be out there striving to be better on your spiritual path. Letting intuition guide you, becoming more one with spirit, more one with the universe. Knowing that you're going to be protected. Giving you the patience, the courage, the wisdom, the knowledge to move forward so you can fulfill your quest. What does that quest look like in the future? I don't know. We're going to find out day by day. And we're going to count them. Yesterday was a day of death. Today, it's a day of life. You ended a journey, and now you're beginning a journey. So that's today's world. That's today's card out of the Wildwood Tarot deck, the journey. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, share it with others, give me a thumbs up. If you like a personal reading, check out the link down below. And this is D for Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Stay safe, everybody.